Samurai Warriors 5 is an action RPG hack and slash beat 'em up game set in the Sengoku period of Japan, developed by Omega Force and published by Koei Tecmo. It was released in 2021, and while it's the fifth in the numbered series, if you account for all the spin-offs and releases since Samurai Warriors 1 back in 2004, it's like the 18th game or somewhere around there with the name Samurai Warriors in it. The good. Samurai Warriors 5 is Koei's attempt at a reboot of their long-standing Samurai Warriors series, with a change in art direction as well as sound and character selection. The art has a crisp, colorful anime look to it, and it helps to bring to life the characters and the beautiful backdrops of war-torn Japan, and gives the series a breath of fresh air. The level of detail is always there, even when you're not really paying attention, and sometimes it's easy to overlook just how beautiful some of the levels are due to how fast-paced the action can really get. The story is also pretty good this time, following and focusing mostly on the rise and fall of Nobunaga, the Oda clan, and his retainer, Mitsuhide Akechi, taking liberties from historical facts and spinning them into a nice fictional Japanese drama. However, as you progress, you unlock more storylines and levels that let you see things from another perspective. And there's even a mode that plays out a few what-if scenarios to reach a somewhat sappy, happy ending as a stark contrast to the main storyline's somewhat grim ending. The music is simply amazing. It mixes a bit of this and a bit of that and includes some traditional instruments, and it melds pretty good with the overall theme of the game, and has a lot of memorable tracks with unique identity all its own. The sound effects are also spot on, with every hit and swing of a weapon feeling solid and strong, along with all the special effects from the magic side of things. There are 23 main stages, told across 6 chapters in Musu, or story mode, with an extra 38 stages showing other points of views leading up to or during the major conflicts, and 9 reverie scenarios, which brings the total amount of stages to play a staggering 70 levels, and each of them have hidden objectives to find and unlock. Also during gameplay, you unlock a special Citadel mode, where you can fight across small 5-minute challenge levels to strengthen your characters, as well as the shops, blacksmiths, stables, and dojo to help you get even more powerful skills and weapons, as well as see small secret interaction scenes or storylines between friendly characters. The gameplay is the meat and bones of it all, however, and holds up extremely well. You start a level, you watch a few scenes or cutscenes with story, then you fight, you get some loot, watch some more cutscenes, and rinse and repeat. You start each stage with an objective that can shift depending on the tide of the battle, as well as how you do or don't do certain objectives, some of which are hidden. This leads to a constant need to stay on your toes and keep control of the battlefield, and helps you keep feeling like you're making a difference in how everything plays out as you wipe out the thousands of troops across the stage. Your character starts out with standard attacks and hyper attacks, which are great for troop clearing and can be combined with normal attacks for lone combos, as well as a Musu attack that is a special unique attack that you can unleash as you hit or get hit during the game, as well as ultimate attack skills. It leaves a lot of options in your hands, with some combos going well past 10,000 hits. My own personal high score was 64,000 hits on normal mode in one stage alone. There are 37 total characters, so there's a lot of variety in your character selection. The bad. Because of the focus on mainly Nobunaga, the game suffers from a lack of character diversity, as well as a feeling of a lack of complete experience. While there are 37 characters, 10 of them are support characters you don't even use in story mode. But you can play with them in free mode and Citadel mode, but they don't have any special EX attacks or special ultimate skills, so likely you probably won't even use them. Also in story mode, you're pretty much forced to use someone you may or may not like to use. I get that a lot of times it makes sense in terms of the story as to why you would be forced to play some characters, only it feels limiting and flat out sucks sometimes. They do rectify this by letting you pick whoever you want in free mode after you unlock the stage, by first playing it in story mode. However, till then you're stuck with who they want you to play with. You don't like Nobunaga? Well, that's too bad, because you're going to be playing with him lots. But if you do like playing with him, that's also tough, because in some stages after you powered him up, or your favorite character, the game will force you to use this underleveled, underpowered dork you would never have picked to play with in the first place. They tried to alleviate this by allowing you to stock experience and weapon mastery points to be used to level up said characters, but this is more trick than treat, as you'll be gated by your castle level, which can only be raised by completing more of the story, and then you'll have to grind for materials in the Citadel mode. And speaking of which, even that feels forced and everything seems like an unnecessary grind. Everything, from customizing your weapons to train your characters or horses, is gated by grinding. Grinding for materials to level up your shops, blacksmiths, stables, and dojos. It seems like a really artificial way to inflate gameplay time for really no reason, and have to do the same levels over and over and over again in Citadel mode in order to raise a cap on, let's say, the dojo, so you can raise a mastery of your character's weapons so they can even use them in the first place, sucks the fun right out of the game. Another issue I have is the amount of cloned movesets. Nearly everyone shares the same types of weapons as each other, and it ends up making everyone feel the same. Despite an occasional EX attack on a preferred weapon of a character, it just still feels the same. It felt like the story mode just had katanas, dual swords, and heavy spear users for the most part, and by the time you even got to use new weapons like fists, matchlock swords, or ninja weapons, you really didn't care, and they felt underwhelming and underpowered by that late stage. Also, the manner in which you unlock the side stages made the story feel more disjointed, as sometimes you complete a whole chapter only to unlock a previous chapter side story that's meant to go along with the story told earlier. I really hate to cite the old Warriors games rosters, because this is just meant to be a review of Samurai Warriors 5 as its own game. However, the very small amount of characters combined with the lack of unique weapons and movesets make it feel like a less complete game compared to its predecessors, who managed to have so much more with older tech. In fact, I think they had about double the amount of characters. Also, by the time you actually unlock the secret playable unimportant characters, you won't really care because the game is done, and you're likely burnt out from all that grinding and leveling up for your castle upgrades. I've always been a big fan of the Warriors series, and despite this entry's shortcomings, I have to say I really enjoyed my 50 hours of gameplay, and felt like as a whole it was worth every penny, and it set out what it planned to do, which was tell a good story backed by solid and fun, easy, mindless gameplay, which when you've had a long day, it's nice to sit back and knock a few mindless skulls around. And also, yes, I know there is a co-op mode, but I ain't got friends to play with, so unfortunately I was unable to test that out for myself. But as a single player game, it works well enough, especially with the amount of replay value. I'd recommend buying it and trying it out for yourself.
Hi there. Thanks for listening to an old fox tell his tales. If you'd like to hear more, please like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And remember to always do one thing every day that scares you.